Do you like knitting? And
I don't even knit. It would be like me. It would basically be me masturbating while watching The Bachelorette.
Did you always know you wanted to move to New York?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. I feel like all like dancers, or maybe not, but
Yeah.
all the movies that inspired me to be a dancer, which is what I believed I was going to be for like all of my childhood, they took place here.
When you graduated, did you immediately jump into like company life or freelancer life?
Oh my
Or were
God!
you-
When I graduated, I immediately jumped into waitress life.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. All my paychecks definitely said waitress for like 3 years. And then like with one stroke of incredible luck after seeing some of Company XIV, I basically was like, please let me dance for you. This is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you look like good enough, I guess. And I got a dance role, and then when I was dancing for them, I did like one contracted project, and
Sort of took off from there.
well, I was obsessed with it, but I wasn't
Yeah.
the best dancer at all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can sing. And that's,
Did they not know you could sing?
I mean,
Was it like
girl,
a Christina Aguilera moment from Burlesque when she just opens her mouth and is like,
Yeah, it was like an American dream moment, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
The thing is, they didn't know I could sing, but I also didn't really know I could sing. I was like, yeah, I can sing.
In the 3 years that you were waitressing, was there ever a moment where you were like, maybe this just like wasn't meant to be for me? No.
No, I feel like the whole like story of my artist life, sometimes people, like at various points in my life, people that I'm talking to about what I'm inspired to do are like, well, you have to choose something. What are you gonna do? You're doing everything. And for me, a lot of the story has been like a story of survival. Like I know for sure that I need to express myself and tell stories.
Yeah.
And use like my perspective in this world to like make art. It's like what makes me feel like it's what makes me want to live.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to happen in dance my whole life, and my heart's always going to be a little broken when I go to see the ballet. You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
Like all
I
of
could
us.
not agree with that more.
Right.
I cry at the end of every time I see a dance show. I get teary-eyed, even if it's something I can't do, like Bharatanatyam or like tap. I'm like,
Yeah.
these people like dance professionally for a living. That's their job.
Yeah, and there's a part of me that's like, if the world were right, I would be a professional dancer.
Yeah.
I'm taking what I used to feel on stage dancing, like Sleeping Beauty and all the, like Giselle and all the beautiful variations I learned and stopped eating for when I was really young.
When was the first time you got a job on your own as an artist?
Oh, shit.
Whether it be as a dancer or a singer.
Okay, like the first time my craft was validated ever, this is cool, but maybe not the answer to the question you're asking. I got a poem published when I was in the 4th grade. That was my first validation. It was called The Teacher in Room 14, and it was about a teacher who burped so loudly and with such force that the school was blown away off into the distance.
That's
and they were
kind
left.
of amazing.
Yeah. I think my first like real employment was like post-college was with Company XIV. As an artist, like the American dream would have me want to say that I got the gig and never looked back.
Right.
But it's also like, you know, now I'm making music and I feel the most successful I've ever felt, and I still have weeks where I have nothing to do other than continue to dream and work and grind for what could happen next week. And so I think one of the things about like surviving as an artist is learning how to handle the lows where you feel like nothing is happening, because the highs come back like so much harder.
How did you know how to gauge like pay negotiation when you started getting these like outside gigs as an independent artist?
I feel like particularly with singing, it's definitely a hard thing, because you have to factor in what your reputation is, where else you're going, and what they're really asking you to do.
Yeah. A lot of the times, like, I'll give a price and somebody will say, well, I can't give you that much, but how about this? And I take it just because, like, I want to be doing work.
For sure. That's definitely something you kind of have to handle at the beginning, but it's good, definitely, to start with the price that you feel is reasonable. And then you can outweigh it if you don't have an opportunity. It's like, it's between you and that person that you're willing to do it for lower than what you wanted.
Right.
But absolutely, like, even when you're starting, even when I was starting, I tried to ask something comparable to what my peers were, because the idea is you're going to be there, and I am a like example of learning on the job being totally cool. If somebody's willing to hire you and pay you, there's no need for you to undercut yourself or be extra humble. Like, particularly as women, I feel like I've seen in all the different industries I've dabbled in, there is something that like particularly white men wake up with, that we need to work a little harder to just fake until we feel this way. Like, just wake up knowing there's nothing wrong with us. Like, that sounds cool. Just try that and be like, hey, pay me the full amount. Why not? Pay me what you pay my peers. Let's see. And if they say yes, then that's all you have to do. You have to respect the agency of the person who's hiring you. Be like, you chose to have me, so I'm good enough, and I'm gonna do my job.
The biggest thing that I've realized, like, now starting to do my own projects, is that like people aren't mind readers. They don't know how much you think you're worth, or you want to be paid for a certain job. And if you do want cab fare, you do want money for lunch, like, you have to ask for it, and which kind of sucks, but like, you have to ask for what you want.
Yeah.
And that goes with any job, I feel like.
I think so too, and particularly in the arts.
And so with your other agents, do you, like, was that something that you pursued, or did they pursue you?
I heavily pursued most of my agents.
Good,
like,
yeah.
My very first agent, this is another thing that like is a victory, I feel like, particularly for a dancer who, dancers, it's so hard. I know so many amazing dancers who don't have agents yet, who have been on Broadway, who like whatever. And so I, out of principle, anytime that I like am in a project with somebody, that's enough for me to know that they're a professional and they have some reason to be here in this world. If they don't have an agent, I will happily refer them to my agency, because it's up to the agency to be like, no, if they're not interested.
Right.
But I have been in so many conversations with people that I am on a teeny tiny gig with, where I'm like, hey, so who are you with? Like, anybody? Just curious. I'm totally cool, but and then they tell me, and I'm like, could you send my headshot to them? And they're like, I'm like, why? Let's just share. Let's share love. We're not threatening to each other.
Yeah.
There's room at the top. Like, like, here's how I did it. You go try and do it. You're different from me. Empower each other.
So did your career ever interfere with your personal life?
Yeah, or the other way around. Like, my career has defined what kind of personal life I'm gonna have, and I've known that since like age 8. Yeah. Naturally, the first time I fell in love with a girl in college, I let everything fall out of sight. Everything. It was really more dramatic than the L word. It was a brilliant time, and everyone deserves one of those in their life. One of those, like,
where you like go off the rails.
Off the rails.
Yeah.
Like, you don't show up at class. You don't even show up for each other.
Yeah.
You're fucked up all the time, but your sex is like life-changing. Yeah, I've had really good partners who respect what I do and try to be of support to it.
So I feel like if I were to find somebody who I like liked, and I shared like my dancing with them, and they were like, I don't get it.
No, it would be over 100%. I'd be like, is your soul broken? Are you dead inside?
And also, you don't have to get it. Like,
no, but like,
I'm an artist, and sometimes I go to things and I'm like, I don't get it, but I feel some type of way about it, or
some
it
type
makes
of way.
me feel, you know.
If you're not provoked to say anything, like, this is not a match. But yeah, if you don't have anything that you're like interested in saying after witnessing art, or when somebody like bears their soul in any way, then like it's just not a match. And there is somebody out there for you. Maybe Becca from The Bachelorette. Part of why I'm so attracted to pop music, essentially, and like pop rock and alternative pop, is the opportunity to speak to everyone in America and the world and say something welcoming and challenging. And yeah, elevate other people who are